Hello. Hello. Hello, everyone. Great to see you all. All right, hold on. Oh, man, I told that guy, can you believe I got a phone call? I told the guy I got a hard stop at 3, and he calls me at 3. Sorry, folks. I'm here to talk to you. Very, very important topic. Important topic is 2025. Kissing 2024 goodbye. Sayonara. We're moving on, and we get some great things. I'm so excited about next year. So here's the thing. First off, I have to talk to you about the Corporate Transparency Act because I've been seeing some mixed signals out there from people, and I just want to clarify for the record here. So what happened? This is the second time that an injunction has been filed, has been granted against the Corporate Transparency Act. It was originally granted by a judge in Alabama back in March or May of this year. And that only enjoined a certain group of people in that plaintiff class. And then I think they argued the case and they lost, or it hadn't been decided. But everybody else still had to file for the beneficial ownership information and the Corporate Transparency Act coming on January 1st of 2026. And my firm has ctafiling.pro, which some people have already signed up for. And the thing about that is now we get a new injunction. And this is an injunction from a Texas federal court judge. And it's a different argument. And this particular judge has enjoined everybody from filing for the act, claiming that it's unconstitutional. Now, what happens is the Department of Justice has to come out and defend that legislation, claiming that it is constitutional. And the Supreme Court will decide if the Supreme Court decides to take it. If they don't decide to take this case, then the injunction is going to run out, and everybody will have to file. So it's going to be it's coming down to the wire. It'll be very, very interesting to see what happens. And the the argument that this judge wrote in his decision, I actually think it's a pretty good one. And I think it's pretty good in the sense that it is, he makes the claim that it's based upon the Commerce Clause. That's the part of the Constitution that the Congress said gives us the right to do this. And the judge says, yes, you have the right through the Commerce Clause to do this, provided that it is not so overreaching that it impacts people that would never be involved in this act that you're looking to protect. And that act has to be a tangible act. It can't be based upon fear of something potentially happening, like a terrorist act in the future. And so I actually thought the judge's argument was pretty good. So I'll be very curious to see exactly what comes down after this. All right. Now, I am here to talk about a webinar that I'm going to be putting on. I want you at the end. Molly's going to put the link on so you can sign up, and I'll get you on the list so you can come to this training that I'm putting on. Let me give you a little bit of backstory. I've been involved in real estate education and training, both as a mentor, as a teacher, as a lawyer, close to 20 years. I've seen it all. I've seen these guys, come out and like, oh man, we're going to come to our weekend boot camp, and you're going to hire a coach and you're going to do all this stuff. And I've done some of that myself. I've revised the way that that's done and changed. And I got to tell you that over the years, I've come to the conclusion that some of this stuff, it just doesn't work for everyone. They come in, they get that dopamine rush, like, oh, we're going to go out, we're going to make millions of dollars, we're going to be the next big person. And they are taught just enough to be dangerous. They are sent out into the world to go out and start making offers. And they don't even know what business they're in the multifamily world. They look at it and they say, you know what? We are going to buy properties as fast as we can and grow as fast as we can, but we're never going to build a back office. We're never going to build a business. We're never going to do that part of the operations that's really going to build us a legacy. So they never get trained properly. And part of the reason is because once they go to those gurus and they get what they're selling, the food chain ends and they're left of their own device. And I just see that. I know that the people who are in this business, who have done this business for years, are the ones that have built themselves a beautiful business, that understand what business they're actually in, and have developed the systems and everything it takes to build the right vehicle for their family's legacy. So over the years, I have engaged my own coaches, my own mentors, mostly on the business side of the argument. And I've seen how they operate, where you get a coach, and some of them, you get a coach, you talk to that coach a couple of times a month, and they like, how are things going, like all that type of stuff. Same old tired model. But I was recently involved with a business coach where things were entirely different. They used what's called a cohort model, where people would come together, like 25 people. And then this particular business model, it was once a quarter. People would come together and they would um, work together as a group, learn from each other, talk about what's going on in their businesses, and then stay in touch as they went back out to their fields to build their businesses. And it was that cohort model that I got thinking, I need to do that same type of cohort model as it relates to multifamily training. I tried it on my hotels to homes conversion. And I can tell you what happened. We started with 25 people. We're still open. There's still people in the 25-person group, but a core group of about 6 to 8 of us have gone off and bought a property. And we're closing on that first property in about a year since we started the cohort, actually a little bit more. This was a crazy property. But this group from that larger cohort will now own a hotel, which will be converted to a multifamily property. That was the goal. We stuck together. We stayed together as a cohort. And now we're buying our first property. Then we're going to look to run that property and operate that property. And I'm involved in it. I put my own skin in the game on this deal. So I'm staying in this deal and helping them be successful. And then we'll go out and buy another one. And then we'll go out and buy 2 more and grow our businesses that way. So it worked on the hotels to home conversion side. We're now going to implement it on the multifamily side. How we're going to create a cohort, about 25 investors who are all going to work together. Some will be in the deal. Some will be sitting on the sidelines watching, but they will be all tied into this cohort where we all become friends. Let me give you some of the more of how this is all going to operate. So we're having a webinar. I think it's like December 18th, where I'm going to lay out for everyone what it takes, what you're going to get, how we're going to get you from start to finish in 6 months. And the objective is that in this cohort, we're all going to be buying multifamily property. Sometimes it might be 6 of us together buying one property. Sometimes maybe 2 people in the cohort will go off and buy a property, but we're all going to be in it together and keeping everybody on track and on focus and focused in order to achieve that objective of owning property. And my job is to take you from the start to the finish. And I may be your partner in the deal. That's exactly how it might work. All right, so let me take you through it. It's going to be a 6-month intensive course. So I'm doing the webinar in December. In the middle of January, we are starting the program. Once I get to 25 members, that closes out the cohort. So once I have those 25 people, that cohort is closed. Now, I might go off and start another cohort, and that's fine. That's how these are going to work. We're going to have 25, because that business course that I took, They had different cohorts every week. They had a different 25 group of 25 coming in. So that's how it operates. And that's how we're going to operate as well. But we're going to start with that first 25. So when you become a member of that cohort, we are all working together. You'll all be part of a WhatsApp channel where we're talking all the time. We're all going to be part of a. Well, I'll get into the details. Let me give you some of the highlights. In this cohort, there will be partnerships, there will be mini cohorts, there will be accountability. So you're not going to just, sign on up and then nothing happens. You are going to have partners and accountability partners throughout the next 6 months. These will be friendships and partnerships that you will have for the rest of your life. That's exactly what I have with this business program. But you'll be part of this cohort. It's like an alumni group. Everybody will be in it, and you'll get an accountability partner who will look over your shoulder, talk to you all the time, make sure you're doing everything you need to be doing to be successful. It's going to involve real life, real world case studies, interactive lectures. And with guest speakers as well. I'm going to teach you how to analyze the critical financial metrics of a multifamily deal. I'm going to teach you all about effective due diligence with a hands-on approach. All about negotiation tactics. We're actually going to speak to brokers, and I will be working with you on speaking with brokers if you want me on those calls as well. And then we get into what it takes to own and operate the properties. This is key, and I'll talk more about that when we get to that section. But I recently had a phone call, very disconcerting phone call, because I knew where these particular investors went wrong, and I don't want to see my cohort model. I don't want anybody in that cohort model to have the same problem. If anything, I can tell you that over the next 6 months, I am going to build your confidence in this business so that you can do it for the rest of your life, and you'll have all the tools necessary, and you'll have all the people involved in order to make that happen. So. If you've tried in the past with someone else's program, if you've tried in the past with my program, now is the time to get back involved, because this is a great opportunity. Many of my students who started working with me that are still friends of mine, but they never got to the closing table. A lot of times just because life took over, things got in the way, or maybe they lost sight of the objective. What we're doing in this cohort model is all of us are in this together, and we'll all be working together in order to achieve that objective. I want everyone in the cohort to be friends, to be confidants, to be partners of every other person in the room. That's how I want my groups to go. I know there are some trainers out there that don't want you talking to any other party. Baloney. We're not doing that. So let me take you through the process step by step. So the first month, we have the first month, or step one, as I'm calling it, we have 4 weeks. Every week we have a live lecture with me, and it's during the day. I'm not going to save this for the evening classes. It's during the day. It's part of your business. We're going to work through it during the day, and it's going to be intense. And I'm not going to say that it's a 1-hour class. It could go on longer. All right. I'm going to be on these calls for as long as I have to. If you've been through my program in the past and you see that I've got all these recordings, this is going to be all new live material, updated and with homework assignments, with what do they call it? Slideshows, PowerPoints that'll be like workbooks. You'll have to work through the problems. But this is starting the first month. We're going to be building your foundation, and it's going to start. The first thing we're going to do is start with the end in mind. I want to know what everyone's goals are. I want to know where you want to be 3 years from now. If we were having this conversation 3 years from now, what will have to take place over the last 3 years for you to both be successfully from a personal level and a professional level? Tell me what needs to happen. We're also going to do, starting off in the first month, is our own multifamily management book club. And so the first one is going to be probably start with the end in mind. That's actually one of the habits of Covey's, Stephen Covey's habits. Start with the end in mind. That's how I want you to be thinking about this business. We're going to have talk about why multifamily is the best business in the world. I'm going to have what business. One of the weeks we're going to talk about what business are you really in. And then also we're gonna make sure that everybody is starting out and they're doing it correctly from a legal standpoint. I'm going to teach you all about everything you need to do from a legal standpoint and from a structure standpoint so that you stay protected. And this is going to be a very intense conversation. It's probably going to be bringing in some estate planning as well. So this is how we are going to make sure that you are in the best position to get started on this new venture of yours. The next week, we're going to talk about negotiation tactics and strategies for buying the property the right way. And I'm going to teach you that. I'm going to walk you through what you say and what you don't say. And I'm going to teach you how to speak to a broker, how to speak to an owner, what to say, and the right way to say things, what things you should never say to a broker or an owner. We'll probably, I think what we do at that time, we're talking about failing forward. The textbook might be Failing Forward, which I absolutely love that book. And we're all going to come together on a separate session and talk about the book club. Also, and this is something I do now with some of my students, and I'm going to do it for everybody in the cohort. We're going to have an 8:30 a.m. huddle, a morning huddle. Show up, half an hour call. Sometimes it'll be faith-based, spirituality-based. Sometimes it's going to be just current events. Sometimes it's going to be, picking on one person, not really picking on them, but getting their bio out so we can all get to know everyone. I mean, we do this now, and it is a great group of investors. We've all become friends. We talk about everything, and we do that every morning from 8:30 to 9. That's what the cohort is going to have available. So by the end of the 6 months, you're going to know these people. You're going to have them on your speed dial. They're going to be your friends. But in the second week, we're going to talk about crunching the numbers. Now, this is going to be like a math class on steroids. By the time you're done, you will understand exactly how these numbers work on a multifamily deal. And I'm going to make sure you get it, because I think the nicest thing about this business all has to do with how the numbers work together like a ballet, how the NOI and the cap rate tie into the purchase price, and how the NOI can be manipulated by sellers and brokers. All these things, you're going to come out of that class knowing exactly what you have to do to be a success in analyzing these deals. And then once you've figured out the numbers and you've done it correctly, what you're then going to understand is how you're going to craft your offer to the seller or the broker based upon your analysis, and how you're always going to be able to support and no one will be able to blow smoke up your skirt because they think you're offering too low. You're going to be offering the right price, and you'll be able to tell the broker, this is the right price. If you think I'm coming in too low, call me in 6 weeks when you don't have this deal under contract. And I'm going to give you that kind of confidence. Let me see. What I call it is making your first sale and getting the deal under contract. What's the first sale in this business? It's getting the seller to say yes to your offer. That's your first sale. And then I'm going to take you through that process. I'm going to teach you everything about the letter of intent. And then I'm going to teach you everything about the purchase and sale contract. Like I said, these classes in the weeks that we do this are not going to be 1 hour long classes. They're going to be intense. They're going to you'll have access to all the videos. That's just part of the game. You'll have access to every single video, but they will be live starting in January. I'm going to be teaching this right. You're not going to see the old videos that I've had for years. I'm doing this all fresh. All right. Then, the next month we're going to talk about financing your deal. This is the part where people get caught up and screwed up in. And I'm going to demystify this whole process. By the end of that month, you're going to understand how to build your capital stack. And you're going to build your capital stack, and you'll understand the debt, and you're going to understand the equity. And then you're going to understand how to get creative. And I'm going to show you how you can structure deals to make them work. We don't put square pegs in round holes. If the deal doesn't work, the deal doesn't work. But I'm going to show you exactly the types of creative financing that we do in order to make these deals happen. Seller seconds, standby letters of credit, owner financing, joint ventures, all these different ways that you can get your deal across the finish line. That's so ultimately at the end of that month, when you hear somebody talking about, well, describe your capital stack to me, you're going to know exactly what he's talking about, and you're going to sound like you've been doing it for years. And that's part of how this program works. This cohort, you'll be talking to other partners, and you're also going to be given the confidence. Then we're going to get into the property analysis. Now, this is different than the numbers, than working on the numbers. Numbers are the first step. Now you get the deal under contract. Now you're going to do the analysis, and you're going to do the analysis with your investors in mind. And the investors in mind are the ones that keeping your investors in mind is what's going to help you get through the due diligence process the right way. It's going to prevent you from looking at a deal with rose-colored glasses, that you should probably look at the deal with a jaundiced eye. And you're going to either fix the deal through the contract and the price, or you're going to pass on the deal. And I'm going to show you every step of the way, everything you need to do in the due diligence process to make that happen. I'm also going to show you how to prepare for closing, how you're going to pull together your capital stack, where it's going to go, what type of documents you can expect, how to put together your partnership, general partners, limited partners, how you're going to control the deal. Number one rule. All of my students know my number one rule. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but if someone here thinks they know what it is, go ahead and type it in the column. Type it in the post a comment section down here, and I'll give you a star on your forehead. What is my number one rule? All right. After that, I'm going to talk about the keys to effective multifamily management. Oh my gosh, folks. This is where the gurus stop their teaching. And this is the most important part. You had your fun. You got the deal under contract. It took you months to buy it, close the deal. Now you own the baby. And now you got to take care of that baby. You have to get up with it every night, burp and feed it, make it work. And that's where the keys to successful strategic management come into play. I'm going to show you how to do it and how to protect yourself and what to do and what not to do. Now, this is where so many of these young gurus have gone wrong. They've grown too fast. They didn't build a structure of their business. They didn't build systems. One of the books that we're going to be looking at is E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. Talks about how to build systems in your business so that you can grow your business and achieve success. All right. So that's going to be in the month 5. Talk about introduction to property management, introduction to tenant management, maintenance, value add opportunities, how to drive your NOI for success, and then how to manage your finances. Huge conversation that most of these trainers never talk about. And we're going to spend a whole week talking about how to manage your money. That's about the operational money. Remember, I talked on the week 1, we're going to talk about how to probably do a little bit of estate planning, getting you ready. Now on this thing, talking about the operational finances, this is about the business. This is about the property that is actually nothing more than a business. Hold on, I think somebody just chimed in. Making offers, yes. Bill Rice with the railroad from Asheville, North Carolina. How are you, Bill? Good to see you, man. Bill and I met, gosh, Bill, 5, 7 years ago. I remember standing in that classroom talking to you. All right. Now the next step is next step is going to be how do you grow to do 1,000 apartments? Remember, that's my book, How to Own 1,000 Apartments in 5 Years. And that's what I'm going to teach you. The first part is how to get out of the gate and get across your first finish line. And then I'm going to teach you how to own 1,000 apartments in 5 years and the right way to do it. Everything that I've been teaching you over this 6-month course is how you're going to get to this end game of 1,000 apartments. Because if you don't have the building blocks set up every step of the way, you'll never get to 1,000 apartment units. And you have to get there the right way. Okay, now I'll tell you the story. Part of what I do and being in this business for so long is people know me, that people trust me, know, like, and trust me. As an attorney, I advise clients on how to do things the right way. I got a phone call the other day from somebody who I had spoken to years in the past. I didn't remember him specifically, but once we got talking, I kind of remembered his story. And he had a partner. They had done very well on the acquisition side of the equation. And they had structured their business such that one party did operations and the other party did marketing and money raise. And each one was counting on the other one to do the deals and to be successful and make the business a success. One of the partners, the one in charge of operations, came to the other partner, the one in charge of marketing and money raising, and said, we need to raise more money. We need to have a capital call. And he told them how much money it was, and it was a big number. I'm not going to say the number because I don't want to identify anything or anyone. But it was a very large number. It was a career-ending number. And the partner who was not involved in the operation says, hey, what's going on? Said, well, this property is not doing well, and I had to borrow money to do this. And he was running the property the wrong way. And I said to the partner that called me, I said, I think I know what happened here. He goes, what? I said, you guys grew too fast, didn't you? He goes, yeah, we did. Because all they were focused on was what they were taught by that guru, which was to find the next deal, and then find the next deal, and then find the next deal, and everything else will take care of itself. No, that's how you get rich on acquisition fees. It's not the way you build a asset base that will be your legacy to your family. The only way you do that is when you have a business that is set up correctly to run for the rest of your life. And that can happen, but you've got to do it right the first time. And that's so key. And that's going to be the last month of the program is when I teach you how to do that and how to build your legacy, is when I push you out of the cohort and say, go forth and conquer, young man or woman or old man or old woman. I don't care, but give me those 6 months, and then we'll be working together for the next 5 years to get you to where you need to be. So that's how this program works. If you want to be a member of this cohort program, come on over. Molly, I'm going to ask Molly to post on the comment here the link so you can sign up. There it is, info at Multifamily OS. Let us know you want to get the link to the webinar when we set it up. We're still putting it all together, but I'm introducing it to all of you now. Early adopters are always the best. And the thing is, I want you in this program. There's one price that is a low price for that 6 months of training, which 6 times 4, 24 hours that I'll be putting into this program, which is actually 24 plus, because some of these calls are going to be more than 1 hour. But we also have a weekly program, so you can pay every week as well, because sometimes It's easier for you to just pay every week. And I'll tell you, if you decide to take that option, it's going to be a little bit more, obviously, because it's financed. The price is financed. But here's the thing: this program had better be darn good, because you're gonna want to remain in it over the next 6 months. You're gonna see the value in it if you're paying every week. And so I can guarantee you that I'm going to be busting my butt to make sure that you achieve your goals at the end of six months. So, folks, if you want to be in this program, sign up, info@multifamilyos.com. We will make sure that you get the link, the webinar link, when we have it built out. We'll see you on that call. John Racine is the first member of the cohort, everyone. First member. And John, and John, probably, I don't know if John heard before he signed up. I don't know if he heard like that whole breakdown of what we're going to have. But John, how does that all sound to you? Are you ready to, type it in the box? We don't have, it's not like Zoom. I had not. Oh, good. And how does it sound now, John? How does it sound? Because John didn't hear all the elements. He just knows me. He just knows he's worked with me for years. He knows I'm gonna be the guy to help him get across the finish line. So that's the key. Awesome, John. It is what I like never knew that I wanted, and now don't let the past burden you, or who I'm making fun of right now. I appreciate that, John. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, and I tell you, I just had a great conversation with our biggest investors on that hotel that we're buying, that we're closing on December 30th. And, they've worked with me. They were students of mine. And now they own over 3,000 apartment units. They started out with me from the very beginning, and now they're putting money in my deals. That's what I want in this cohort program. I want those types of people in the program. And the thing is, John, stick with me. Do what I tell you to do. Do your homework. Homework is going to be interactive. You're going to have to speak to brokers. You're going to have to get out the door and do stuff, because I need you to. I'm going to need you 5, 7, 10 years down the road to fund my next deal. Oh, good. Thanks, Christ Chapel, Cape Cod. Cape Cod. I just moved out of Duxbury. I'm up here in New Hampshire, God's country now. I was just telling Molly, okay, excellent. Yes, John, that is so true. You do have a great reason. I'm in New Hampshire now, my old hometown, home state. And I was talking to Molly, and I'm filling out the application to get admitted to the bar here in New Hampshire, so I can start practicing up here in New Hampshire. I have to get 5 people to give me a recommendation. So I'm sitting there talking to Molly, and I said, maybe I'll ask the mayor of Nashville. How the mayor? Okay, so I'll send the mayor one and have him make a recommendation, and I'll have the governor. Governor's a friend of mine, so I'll have the mayor and the governor, Democrat, Republican. I'm playing both sides against the middle. I don't care. I like them both. Both good people. And so that's what I'm doing up here in New Hampshire, Christ Chapel, Cape Cod. Okay, everybody. Great. Thank you for staying. Thank you for being here. Thanks, Molly. I forgot to do that. Send your name, email, and phone to info@multifamilyos.com. And you'll be waitlisted for the registration as soon as the enrollment begins. We're going to do this. I'm going to have a lot of what I just said is going to be codified, memorialized in the PowerPoint. You're going to see exactly how the program is laid out and what my objectives are. It's not just training. It's a community of other people all working together to get across the finish line. I've already done it with the hotels to home conversions. It's a proven track model, and that's the plan. So thanks, everybody. As a matter of fact, at 4:00 today, the hotels to homes cohort is meeting. We meet once a week just to talk. And that starts in 20 minutes. So if you're a member of that group, I will see you there. Otherwise, folks, thanks for coming, and I'll talk to you all soon. I'll see you next week. Thanks.